So, here we are again. Let me just gently ease ourselves into the show. Yes, big Friday night plans. Why not? We gotta do something. I don't know if you're like Terra Lumination, but we're hunkered down over here. Hello. Going back to work. So Tina's thinking about going back to work. Some people don't have any work to go back to, so you're kind of lucky. That's cool. But your mom is the most fragile and it's not worth it. Okay, well, you have to make those tough decisions. Hello, Path. Hello, Tina. Hello, Ivona. And who else is there? I just saw some others. A couple. Who was that? Yeah. And we might have a few, maybe some newbies. Wouldn't that be fun? Hey, if there's anybody out there who've never been here before, you're here because you're just going out of your mind, stuck at home, then yeah, welcome. Say hello, check in, introduce yourselves, let us know who you are, all of that good stuff. Yeah. So, I just want to say hi, just let you know I'm actually right here. Stay there. You're a nurse, not lucky. No, yes, but what I meant is just like, it's work, okay. Yeah, I think Pat is right. Like the nurses and the doctors, there's so many reports coming in right now. It's just like, it is so tough, for the nurses and doctors on the front line. It's unbelievable right now. I don't know about you guys, but hey, Gregory, I see you. Los Angeles is getting slammed. Yep, we're getting hit over here, okay? Mariana Theodore. Hello. Well, this is hold on, let's just do this properly. Hold on. Welcome. It's evening over here. I'm in my secret location, hunkered down. I'm in my doomsday shelter over in well, I can't really tell you, but it is somewhere in Los Angeles. Okay? And nobody knows it's here. Okay? And don't tell anybody. Okay? So, Mariana Theodore from Australia. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for coming to hang out with us. Yes. This is a good place. Sometimes we have just silly, wacky times. Sometimes it gets very, very serious. Path is saying that New York is getting slammed. Yes. Yeah. So I made up this title for the show. And we'll probably use it again and again. And it's basically Global Restructuring 2020. And it's happening. Okay? It's happening. You're lucky, Mariana. Like, right now, over here in Los Angeles, the streets are empty. Restaurants, cafes, bars, clubs, Hollywood, all the movie industry, all the TV industry, it's all shut down. And there's no traffic. There's very few people walking around. It's very eerie. So, you're in Melbourne. Oh, you know what? Marianne, we have someone who comes here sometimes from Melbourne, and she's called Queen of Water, and she's a healer, and she hangs out here sometimes. So Tina is saying things are going to get bad in Houston soon. Basically, pretty much everywhere in America is being covered. I think there's a few spots like West Virginia. I think it's where was it? Like North Dakota or something, or Idaho, I'm not sure, but anyway, everything's going to get covered eventually. I'm not really sure where to start. I woke up this morning with so much stuff running through my head about well, what are we going to do and how are we going to do this? And I made a few notes, and I'm going to share the notes with you for things. We can't do all this tonight, but I just wanted to check in and like give you a kind of heads up where I feel things are going and where I'm going to try and steer the channel so that I can get through this personally, and in so doing, as a side effect, maybe you guys can, we can help each other get through all of this, okay? Yes. So, actually, let me go back to the main stage here. Just give it for a second. Hold on. Okay, so I'm just going to read you some of my notes for stuff that I'd like to address in the show or the shows to come. Number one. Soon we're going to read the little quote from Kitty O'Mara. It went viral. She's a young lassie, I think, over in Ireland. And she posted something on the Deepak Chopra Facebook page. And he noticed it. And then, of course, it went viral. Okay? So... the other thing I wanted to mention is that the planets are in very extreme alignments right now that hasn't happened for, hundreds of years. And actually when we had the Pluto, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn thing, there was something similar at around 1220. And then we had something similar with Pluto and Saturn around 1776, okay? There is a certain alignment that happens every 34 years, but right now, for today's purposes, I'm focusing on the Pluto and the Mars and the Jupiter, because they're basically sitting all right on top of each other right now. And I'll probably make a little astrodoodle about it. The next thing is just a little bit of a heads up, everybody. We're going to go into a huge wall of retrograde planets later in this year. It's not too far away. I think it's more like in the summer or middle of or end of summer. So it's like we're gonna have to relive a lot of things that are happening right now as everything gets crushed and pulverized, and then it's going to go back through the filters again and get crushed and pulverized even more. That's what I feel is going to be happening. The next thing I wanted to mention is tonight, right now, over here in Los Angeles, Saturn is at 29 degrees. That's called the anaretic degree. It is a critical degree in astrology. It's a very highly stressed degree. And right now we're actually 29.5. And then eventually Saturn is going to start to migrate into Aquarius. Okay, right now it's in Capricorn. So looking at Saturn, we're going to move into Aquarius very soon, and it's a different vibe. We're going to start to see more emphasis on the internet, probably the crashing of airlines, the crashing and reconfiguration of communications. I think what's going to happen in terms of this, okay, global restructuring, January 2020, hint hint, famous book by famous author, Lumination, Wealth, Money, Finance, available at the links below. Please tell this to Deepak Chopra and make this go viral, please. Somebody. Anyway, Saturn in Aquarius is very different from Saturn in Capricorn. Saturn in Aquarius is going to start to teach us lessons about how, as humanity, we're going to have to behave in a much more egalitarian manner. And a lot of that, I believe, is going to be conducted over the internet and the changing in the ways that we communicate. And already the internet has become incredibly important for communications, but it's going to go to another level, just like what we're doing here with Lumination. Also, the airline industry is going to be radically impacted. I'm just giving you my personal view. The Saturn Aquarius, it's going to be a limiting factor on air travel. I think a lot of global travel is going to shrink and shrink and shrink, and the massively bloated global airlines are going to suffer a lot of pain. It's already happening. Airlines across the world are being crushed. Airplane manufacturers, it's devastating. The other thing is, I mean, hold on, give me a second. Let's just take a break here. Greetings. I just had to take a little breather there. Saw something. Iran nobility is part of Methodist and Maryland Anderson. I don't know what that means, Tina. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't know how to respond. But anyway, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. I can see that there's a few people here. Good evening, hello, and welcome. Some of you know I've been ranting about this for quite a while. Evil's dog. I see you. I could start going on a rant about corporate America and the global banking systems, you know, and the stock markets and the Federal Reserve and things like that if you want. It's almost like, but don't get me going. I'm coming at this from a very, very random way. I haven't really planned this show. It's just like I felt I had to come here. Hello, Melody. How are you? I see you in the chat. Hello there. Hello, Abel's dog. Hi. And oh, I see. Patients of hospital. Okay. Yeah, I see you. And so, you know, some of you know I wrote this little book, right? And it's kind of a prophetic book. And I wrote it, you know, actually several years ago, and I only published it about 1.5 years ago. And now basically everything is coming to pass. And I feel like saying I told you so, but then again, I told you so. And so I don't know what else to do. I mean, I've done whatever I can. When I wrote this, I've just basically felt I need to tell people. I hope this helps people. And it's all playing out. I didn't exactly predict the virus, but what I focused on was that there were going to be these massive convulsions across the planet, which basically, in terms of the tarot, it would be like a massive tower moment where you get everything starts to crumble. Anything and everything that is not genuine will eventually have so much pressure on it that it will crumble. And there will be hierarchies and institutions that will survive and rebuild coming out of this. The global banking system will have to do something. It has to do something because it's kind of broken. And the global currency trading systems are, it's actually like a war machine. There'll probably have to be changes there as well. Yeah, hey, Evil's dog, I'm not doing too bad, actually. I feel like I'm one of the lucky ones, honestly, with this whole global pandemic thing, because I spend so much of my time in my little shelter here. And I go out every day. I go for a bike ride and a bicycle walk, and a bike ride and a walk and things to get exercise and pick up my groceries and supplies. But mostly I have a very, very compressed, tiny life, so I'm not heavily emotionally, psychologically disturbed by having to stay in here. Whereas a lot of people, if they're used to be like running around and being very active and dynamic and very successful, and out there like earning it and then burning it all and having this grand life, and all of a sudden you're in one of the industries that's imploding. Like the whole events business is imploding. Like massive companies that and it's like a shockwave. It affects so many other people besides the events company and the events and the artists. It's happening all over America. You know, pop concerts, Coachella, sports, gaming, gambling, casinos. Las Vegas is shut down. All of that kind of stuff. Yes, right, Tina. The money doesn't exist. Whatever money that is pumped out of the federal government, it's all basically confetti. And you might as well enjoy it while you can, because I don't know how long it's going to last before everybody figures out it's just a pile of confetti. So we'll see where that goes. Good luck. I mean, they will do something. Hey, Olson. They will do something because they have to, because there's nowhere else to go. These people at the top of the pyramid, like the Federal Reserve and you know the major retail banks and the major Wall Street trading banks, they're basically at the very epicenter of this meltdown. I don't know if you noticed the stock market. We're now below 19,000. It's kind of historical, and the chances are it's going to go and then and then and then. It's just simply because there's such a massive house of cards built up right now in the world of global finance, and everything's built on massive corporate debt, trillions of dollars of corporate debt. I mean, forget about personal debt. You know, I don't carry any debt personally, but in the United States, the big ones are, you probably know all of this very well already, credit cards, car payments, college loans, mortgages, and health care. All of these represent massive debt. And there's lots more too, but those are the 5 pillars of debt, and those are the pillars of debt on which the American economy is built. The whole of the American economy is basically structured. We're all basically debt slaves. Whether you're making $200,000, $500,000 a year, and you're taking out like a $2 million mortgage on a house, you're still a debt slave. I know people who are making huge amounts of money, but they're living paycheck to paycheck. They can't help it. It's just like, it's the compulsion to consume. We can't help it. Basically, it's like food, like at a buffet food. Like, we eat it because it's there. You know, some people live to eat. Some people eat to live. It's a very different concept. Hey, Nikki, see you. Cheers, Nikki. So, what I want to do right now is do something very, very like serene, beautiful, kind of spiritual, a little bit uplifting. I'm going to read something to you guys. I'm going to see if I can do this like live from here. I'm juggling a lot of softwares and computer thingies at the moment, so bear with me. I might screw up, but I'm going to read this thing. It apparently has gone viral. And a couple of people sent me the links, and it's very, very moving. And so I followed through, and it's actually like this beautiful piece of poetry. So I'm going to read it, pretend it's like a little bit of story time or something. But it came from this woman called Kitty O'Mara, who has a little site. I think she's over in Ireland, and she just likes to write things, and she's very sweet. And she posted something on the Deepak Chopra Facebook page, and he spotted it, and then he put that on the front page of his website. So of course it went viral. So I'll see if I can do this. Give me. I've never quite done it quite like this. So give me a moment to see if I can actually do this. Okay, stay right there. Let's see. Okay, so it kind of goes like this. Pretend I'm like, we're in a school, or we're in a little private location, and we're at the Lumination campfire, and this thing is here now, and I'm going to read it to you like we're all hanging around the campfire. So just huddle up, check in, be comfortable. Here it goes, okay? All right. This is from Kitty O'Mara. She's over in Ireland. I think she's married with a few kids, and she has lots of dogs. And she wrote this. It's quite short, but it feels very resonant for the times that we are in right now. Remember how, basically all the United States and most countries around the world now are basically telling everybody, stay home. Sequester yourself. Put yourself in lockdown. And it's very disturbing for a lot of people. But there's this beautiful thing here, so I'm just going to read it. It's titled, In the Time of Pandemic. And the people stayed home. And they read books and listened and rested, and they exercised and made art and played games and learned new ways of being and were still. And they listened more deeply. Some meditated, some prayed, some danced, some met their shadows, and the people began to think differently. And the people healed. And in the absence of people living in ignorant, dangerous, mindless, and heartless ways, the earth began to heal. And when the danger passed, and the people joined together again, they grieved their losses, and they made new choices, and they dreamed new images, and created new ways to live. And they healed the earth fully, as they had been healed. And that's it. That's what it is. So you might have seen it already. You might have read it already. You might have, found it in one of your, social media links or something. But it came here, and I decided to share it. And I gave credit to Kitty. Well done, Kitty. Because it's a very poetic way of, viewing the situation. Cheers. Thank you, Kitty. Hold on a second. I just saw your note there. Thank you, Ivona. And they made babies. Yeah, right. Oh my God. Can you imagine being conceived at this time with the astrology? Can you imagine being born at this time with this astrology? Oh my God. Anyway, have a look at this. This is a little illustration I found. Now, it's not to scale, obviously, but I think it's a really sweet illustration. So can you see over here? Here's the sun. Here's Mercury. Here's Venus. Here's the Earth. Now, they don't really show you the moon that goes around and round around the Earth. And then there's Mars. Okay? There's Jupiter. There's Saturn. And there's Uranus. And then there's Neptune. And then there's little Pluto. Okay? All the way out there. Hundreds of millions of miles away. Little Pluto. Do not mess with Pluto. Okay? So what's interesting about this time in global history is that Pluto is aligned with Saturn, and it's aligned with Jupiter, and it's aligned with Mars. Okay? It's an incredibly heavy, powerful, strong alignment. And I don't think it's a coincidence that these beautiful pieces of sacred geometry are happening at the same time that humanity is going through an incredible meltdown. Hello, JGF. I see you. I see you. So, okay, I'm going to have to make an astrodoodle. There's no way out of it. You've seen them before. This is going to be very similar, but I'm going to point out a couple of other things. So just stay right there. Oh, by the way, I might as well tell you, I have to take a very short break at 7 o'clock if we're still here. Because I have another meeting. It'll only take a couple minutes, but I have to be there. I've made more doodles here, more notes for talking points that really need to be brought out. I'm going to play a song in just a minute, but let me make this astrodoodle. For basically where we are right now. if I'm feeling courageous, I might actually delve into the astrodoodles for the United States. At least it'll be kind of a sketch, and then maybe that will be like a heads up for another show we can do later on down the road. I just saw that, Path Traveler. So we have 20th of March 2020. And we have this massive Capricorn stellium. It's been going on for a while, and it's going to keep going for a while. And it marks a massive moment in human history, something we haven't seen for hundreds and hundreds of years. We won't see it again for a very long time. And there are different similarities to other times in human history, but they go back hundreds and hundreds of years. Anyway, right now, we have Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, Mars. The moon is already in Aquarius, but we've got Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, and Mars all lined up together. They're basically just all sitting on top of each other. So that puts an incredible amount of pressure on like a lopsided, it's like having it's like when you play these games with these spinning balls and then all the balls get tangled and clustered onto one side. It can become extremely hard to hold your balance because there's so much magnetic pull over here countering us here in the middle. Let's just pretend this is planet Earth. And how do you deal with this intense pull? You've got Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, and Mars. You've got Saturn, the great teacher. Saturn teaches, and however you mess up, you will feel pain. But after the lessons have been learned, you will be rewarded. Pluto is just completely ruthless and non-discriminatory. It just destroys and pulverizes and crushes anything in its path that is not genuine, honest. Jupiter is the great benefic, the great healer, the great expander, the joyful sort of energy of opportunity, possibilities. So you've probably already figured out what I'm going to say. Out of the bad comes the good. And it's already happening right now. People are trying to configure, how are we going to restructure, how are we going to rebuild our lives after the demolition of what's happening right now in 2020. And then Mars is sitting over here, right on top of Pluto right now, okay? Right here. So when I see Pluto matched up with Mars, I see that as war. I see that as an indication of war. Now, it's not a war where we're dropping bombs on each other's countries. I see it more as a global warfare that is being conducted in the financial currency markets, hint, hint, Capricorn, and the businesses across the world. And how the fakery of everything that we're doing right now with basically fake money, debt, fiat currencies as they call it, it's being exposed for the problem that it really is. Because in a way it's just a massive optical illusion, a massive mirage, a massive illusion, a massive delusion, and we all buy into it. We all have made a decision that we believe in this stuff called money. And the money is actually just currency. The currency is just tokens. They're just IOUs. IOU, which means debt. Okay? Because the real wealth is in your skills. It's your talent. It's in your relationships. It's in your health. It's in your kindness. It's in your community. It's in your family. And so anything that's not working is probably going to be exposed for all the flaws that exist. Like if you live in a family where, no harm intended, but you've got a lot of debt, you make a lot of money, maybe daddy is an airline pilot and your mom works in a hospital, or your mom works as a school teacher. There's a lot of people, their jobs, their livelihoods are going to be demolished. Millions and millions of people across America. And that's just Saturn and Pluto working together. But with Pluto and Mars, this is where the gloves are off, okay? The gloves are off. And it's like, okay, basically the planets are telling Earth, okay, time people, it's your time, planet Earth and humanity. We're going to do what has to be done. Please forgive us. We're just planets being who we are. But this is what happens when you step out of line with the laws of nature. And this is what happens. So now we live in this like grotesquely overpopulated planet where we have like these massive addictions to consumption and production, because that gives us this feeling of like, wow, we're so amazing. We can generate so much wealth. But look at the pickle we've caused for ourselves. We've already just lived through the Pisces month here. Neptune is still here and the sun has just moved into Aries. But during March, when the sun was transiting across Neptune, that is the time period during which the coronavirus, hint, hint, the invisible enemy, the hidden enemy, that's where it became visible. It came out all over the planet, and the whole of planet Earth now is realizing how incredibly sick we are. We are very, very diseased as a species. Here is planet Earth. You know, it all started here, okay? It's migrating here, here, it's here. It's all over here. It's here. It's all over here. It's worse here now than it was in China. And these other places here. In other words, basically, the bigger and the wealthier the country, the more likely you are to get hit. The big ones are United States and China. United States is getting slammed right now. Europe is getting slammed. United States is a bit slow to pick up. Eventually it's going all over here, and it's going to go all over here. And they have diminished capacities to deal with this. We are already fully maxed out on how to deal with it. And here we are in America. Look at this. Here we are in the United States. Every state, I think West Virginia, I don't know if they've got any yet, but we've got hundreds here. Just in Los Angeles, we've got hundreds, okay? And there's already people dying here because of this bug. So, you know, the bug is what it is. It's no different from what happens on a factory chicken farm, you know, when you have hundreds of thousands of chickens all living on top of each other and being force-fed with these hormones and chemicals to produce more and more eggs and more meat. And it's a very grotesque, unnatural phenomenon, but we do it because we can. Humanity has figured out a way to do it, and we've become very addicted to the process. And now the flaws inside the system, the hidden enemies, are becoming apparent. We've already had SARS, we had MERS, we had HIV, we had a few other, Ebola, a few mini pandemics, but this one has gone global. This is completely global, okay? So my personal feeling is that the global pandemic here is a direct correlation to the global restructuring that is going to be happening here, that is happening right now. Yeah. Oh, I see your notes, Tina. West Virginia has it now too. Ouch. Okay, I'm sorry, West Virginia. There you are, West Virginia. I hope you can handle it, okay? I hope you can cope. I know they're struggling all over Texas, California, Washington, and New York that's where it's worst right now. It's going all over. So basically, from my own perspective, everything that's happening right now, none of this surprises me. That's why, honestly, I'm not really stressing out too much. Perhaps I should be stressing out, but I already removed myself. I personally removed myself from the infrastructure that I knew was collapsing anyway. I wish I had been successful and wealthy and I just had a pile of cash and I could just have my own doomsday property somewhere, but I don't. I'm just making do with what I have here in my little secret shelter here. So all of this correlates to all of this. This is what's happening right now, okay? This is what's happening right now. And there's a reason I wrote a book about it. It might be too little too late now. People should have had this and read this years ago. Hello, Robin. I see you. Greetings, Robin. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for coming to visit. Okay, so I just ranted about that. Hope you don't mind. Let me just check in here. Hold on. Give me a second here. There we are. Hi. So, I can't show you, there's a way that we can hold private meetings here at Terra Lumination, but we have to schedule it, we have to book it, and it costs time and money. So if anyone's interested in that, we can do it, because I can be a little bit more demonstrative, a little bit more expressive. We can go into details a little bit more. I can do better demonstrations. But right now, what I wanted to show you is this one. You see little Pluto here? It's so disregarded. But from my perspective, in terms of astrology, it represents the depth of our soul. And over here is the magic of Uranus. Uranus is in Taurus right now. Okay? Over here is another gas planet, and that is Neptune. Massive, massive planet that has this duality to it, which is very, very hard to understand. It's very hard to handle. It's the energy of dreams and beauty and art and inspiration, but it's also the energy of, the absence of love, the absence of compassion, basically the empty, hollow soul. It's a very creepy, creepy, creepy energy. Over here, of course, is world-famous Saturn. And over here is Jupiter, and over here is Mars. So right now, it's just kind of a really cool coincidence that this little illustration here has everything lined up for a visual display. I don't think they actually, meant or designed it to be this way for today's show, but it's the only way they could illustrate the planets in one image. So right now at this moment in time, we have Pluto aligned with Pluto over here in Capricorn aligned with Saturn in Capricorn, aligned with Jupiter in Capricorn, aligned with Mars in Capricorn. Okay? So this illustration happens to be extremely accurate in that way, because this is what it would look like in the planets. Now, Neptune is over there in Pisces. Uranus is over there in Pisces, and Uranus is hovering over here in Taurus, and Neptune is over there in Pisces, okay? So in some ways it's very harmonious energy, but on this chart, these two planets would not be in this picture, okay? So if you could kind of delete those two planets from your visuals, and then you can see Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars, okay? Sorry, I got these guys confused a little bit earlier. But anyway. So, isn't that cool? And so my point is that what I'm trying to suggest here is that it's not a coincidence that Pluto is aligned with Saturn, is aligned with Jupiter, is aligned with Mars, and then this is what's happening on Earth right now. This alignment here, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars together, statistically, that I don't know when it's going to happen again. I've looked at charts going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's not there, okay? It's just not there. There is a pattern with Pluto and Saturn that lines up every 34 years, but that's relatively minimal compared to the thing that we're talking about right now. So this little title, Global Restructuring 2020, it's really about how humanity is going to be squeezed, crushed, pulverized, melted down, stretched, reconfigured in order so that we can evolve, grow, adapt, and blossom. Basically, survival. Adapt, grow. What's the thing I keep telling? Evolve, grow, and adapt. Okay? We have to evolve. We have to grow. We have to adapt in order to survive. If you refuse to do that, if you refuse to comply with the pressure, then you will be one of the people who suffers. And everything's going to be kind of broken down into people who survive and people who don't. And it's going to be very evident. It's just going to be like, that's it. There's going to be a lot of people who are demolished. They could be demolished directly by the virus, or they could be demolished by the side effects of the virus. And the side effects of the virus are happening in the Capricorn energy. Okay, let me go back over here. I don't want to sound all doom and gloom, but it really is kind of a doom and gloom. Some people actually see this as like, the coming of the second, Christ. They see it as World War III. They see it as Revelations. They see it, the evangelists see it as like, this is it. This is the moment where all the evil people are going to die and all the good people are going to go to heaven. Okay? It's not quite that extreme, but that's how a lot of people see it. So, anyway, it's all kind of happening right now. Right now. And so, I don't know if you noticed it, but on a global scale, okay, all the presidents, the leaders, the bankers, the advisors, the consultants, the world's top politicians, they are all flapping around, panicking, trying to figure out what to do and how to do it. Okay, that's their job. Okay, literally global. This whole thing is globalized, okay? Global Restructuring, January 2020, by the book, hint, hint, hint. Deepak Chopra, you need to see this. Everybody, please tell Deepak Chopra about this book so he can put it on his page and make it all go viral. Anyway, I don't really have a poem about that, but I do have amazing songs. Maybe Deepak Chopra will like some of my songs, okay? So, everything that's happening in the world right now is perfect. Everything is exactly as it should be. Everything is perfect, okay? This is just reality, and why is that so? It's because it can't be any other way. All the devastation that's happening with the economy in China, in the United States, in Western Europe, it's basically, well, what did you expect? What did you expect, people? Anyway, that's it. It's the restructuring. You can't restructure until you rip apart, and demolish the old stuff. It's like a massive remodeling campaign. And so we are in the very early stages right now. All the stuff that's happening over here in China and the United States and Western Europe, we're at the early stages that really started to ferment and come into heavy conversations around January 2020. That's when it all started. But the momentum is going to pick up throughout the year. We have all these eclipses coming up. Okay, let me give you a little bit of hint about eclipses. Okay. Okay. I can't do it right now. We're just going to have another show about the eclipses, okay? But 2020 is very rare because we have 6 eclipses. I see it personally as 7 because we had an eclipse on December 26th that was basically tied up to until 2020, tied into 2020. And so, you know how I talk about, hold on, let me go back with you guys. You know how I kind of go ranting on about eclipses? eclipses, evolutionary gateways, where humanity is forced into this like spiritual elevator, pushed up to the next level, and then squeezed out to the top. And you have to evolve, you have to adapt, you have to grow, or you wither and you fizzle out and you suffer. That's how evolution works, okay? We have to evolve, we have to grow, we have to adapt as a species, otherwise we will suffer. It's very, very evident now. We are so grotesquely overpopulated that we are literally starting to swim in our own poop. And that's what it looks like now. That's what's actually happening right now on a global scale. That's the indication of the virus. It sounds really like vile to describe it that way, but that is literally what happens. This is what happens when you populate, put the pressure on, consume, produce, keep it going, because it's very lucrative to the people who own and run and operate the debt farms, okay? The debt farms, okay? As you know, I consider planet Earth to be a debt farm, owned and operated by debt farmers. Well, my feeling is that the debt farmers are going to start wondering, like, is this actually a really viable business model anymore? Okay? And so we've reached this kind of point of ascension where we can't go on any further the way that we're going on. So we have to restructure, okay? That's what this is all about. We have to restructure, global restructuring. We don't want to do it. Nobody wants to do it. And why? Because it means you have to evolve, you have to grow, you have to adapt. And basically, that's just work. That means a lot of changes and shifts in attitudes, huge astronomical amounts of healing, huge amounts of self-healing, huge amounts of healing of the planet itself, huge amounts of healing and restructuring of human behavior, okay, right down to core human behavior. There are a lot of human behaviors that are just no longer viable. We can't continue to behave in some of the ways that we do. Because if we do continue, all that's going to happen is we're going to continue to swim in our own poop. Okay? And it's going to take a long time, honestly, to clean up all the poop. That's how it is, okay? Hello, Robin. Don't worry. Hey, Jackie. Hi, Jackie. I see you. Hey, Lena. Hi, Lena. Hello, Lena in Argentina. Hi, Jackie in Toronto. And so that's kind of why I wrote the book, because I felt it in a kind of prophetic way, and I had to write it out. And I couldn't prove it factually, because how can I? I'm not a bond trader on Wall Street. I'm not a high-level executive at Goldman Sachs or, all the big traders up there. I can't do it. I don't have that. I'm an artist. I'm a writer. I'm a musician. That's who I am. That's what I do, and I'm just trying to stay alive. That's what I'm trying to do. But I'm not going to play that game. I am going to evolve. I am going to adapt. I am going to blossom. I am going to grow. And I will come out of this on the other side. And I'm hoping you guys hang in, stay there with me so that you find ways to figure out too, okay? In other words, we have to do this together. You can't do it on your own. You have to have alliances. You have to have a support team. You have to have friends and family. And we're going to be forced to figure out, who do we love? Who do we really love? Who loves you? People are going to show their true colors. I have about 8 minutes, and then I have to go on a little meeting. So what I'm going to do is save a song so I can play it during when I have to go away for a few minutes, and then by the time I come back the song will just about be over, and then we can continue like nothing ever happened. It's just that I got to take care of some stuff here that happens to do with all the matters of like neighborhoods. It's like a neighborhood meeting. How are we going to take care of ourselves and each other, okay? Thank you, Robin. Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here. I wanted to show you something else. Hold on. Okay, so, I feel happy that I wrote this. I'm very proud of this. And I can see it all coming into play today. That's fine. But let's go back over here, okay? This is the world as we know it. We know that there's astronomical amounts of pollution over here. All the oceans are polluted over here, over here, over here, over here, and over here, over here. And a lot of the rivers and waterways. That's fine. We already know that. But let's focus in a little bit closer. You see this one? Some of you recognize this? Now, from my personal perspective, it is not a coincidence that the United States is so pivotal in the story about global restructuring. How are we going to do this? Because most of the global financial system now is modeled on what they built over here in Manhattan, okay, with the trading banks and the Federal Reserve, okay, it's all over there. And of course we have Fort Knox over here in Kentucky, where they stash all the gold, but the actual trading happens over here. And all this trading is basically currency trading. It's like a global warfare that goes on between the United States and everybody else. And so there's a war that goes between, it's the currency wars. I look at it as the currency wars. It's a very vicious, brutal war, and it's about how do we exploit the markets to the maximum value for our shareholders, okay? Shareholders. So let's go back to America. Bear with me here. I'm hoping you can see how I connect the dots. There was a time in the United States where corporations and businesses operated in a very different way than we operate now. There was a certain golden time in history where we dealt with this thing: the stakeholder versus the shareholder. Okay? I'm not sure if I can really talk much about it right now, but I just wanted to drop a hint. Maybe for another show we could talk about this. And I think it was more after World War II where America realized how incredibly fortunate it was to have so much land, so much resources, and that we need to do this in a very good, rich, wholesome way. And so some of the big corporations at the time, they had a mandate, a corporate mandate, to represent the stakeholders, okay, in their corporation. So in other words, if, let's just say, okay, here we go. How about this? Like, if Terra Lumination is the boss of some big corporation, okay, back at that time, that golden day of corporate America when it was most wholesome and the economy was most rich, it was stakeholder priorities, okay, as compared to shareholder priorities. So what does that mean? Hello, Mary. I see you. Hi. So in America, the way it works right now is they have destroyed, the markets and the traders have destroyed stakeholder capitalism in favor of shareholder capitalism. Stakeholder capitalism is built on the model and the understanding that our corporate bosses, our leaders, our governors, our president, our local communities, all the local and state and federal communities, they had to prioritize their population, their people, the jobs, the environment, and the health in such a way that was good for everybody, the whole community. Okay? That's gone. That's all gone. Whatever they present to you, it's just talk, because the only thing that counts now is shareholder capitalism. And that is literally like asset stripping. The corporations now operate in such a way that we're going to do whatever we have to do to get as much money as we can for ourselves, the bosses at the top, and for our shareholders who make it possible for this to happen. And we don't really, honestly, truthfully care about the side effects, you know. We don't really care. They might tell you, oh, we care about the community. Oh, we're going to do this and that for the community. It's shareholder capitalism. That's what we have right now. And it's basically, it's gutting everything. It's just stripping everything out. All the value where there was like a respect for the community, that's gone. Okay? So that's probably another show. We'll have to talk about that later. Let me do one more thing. I have to go to my meeting. Okay, so I'm going to go by my meeting now. And I'll be back in a few minutes, okay? So I'm going to play a long song. It's called Love is the Word. It's like I hope you listen to the lyrics. I hope you chat amongst yourselves, and I hope you're still here when I get back, okay? So this is what it sounds like. It's kind of got like kind of a marching beat. It's like, you know, self-empowerment. Love is the word. And it sounds like this. Let me make sure it's here. For the skies, opening my hands to welcome in the day, gather in the sun's rays before I'm on my way, and the healing vibrations rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole, casting out diseases by chanting the the sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, Nam is the word. Moving through the day, pray no accidents arise. Giving thanks to heaven that I am still alive. Blessing my enemies, blessing the ones I love. Praying for forgiveness for any damages I've done. And the healing vibrations rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole, casting out diseases by chanting the word. The sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, Nam is the word. Now the day is done and moon is on the rise. My trials and tribulations all bottled up inside. I summon in the Nam as I reach up for the skies. I command all fear and shadows be gone before my eyes. And the healing vibrations rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole, casting out diseases by chanting the word. The sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, Nam is the word. And the healing vibrations rattle through my soul, shaking out the poisons, making me whole, casting out diseases by chanting the word. The sounds of the universe by all will be heard. Resonate inside us, Nam is the word. Okay. Stay there. Don't go away, people. I have to, sorry, give me a second. Give me a second, people. I'm over here. Hold on. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. I need a few more minutes, all right? You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to play some nice music, and I'll be right back, okay? And we'll carry on where we left off, all right? Hello, Aribam Anju. I see you. You've been here a couple times now. Greetings, hello. Okay, so give me a few minutes. I'll be right back, okay? Thank you very much. Don't go away. multiple lifetimes out of this thing. So let's see how fits in. Sorry if you had to all go. If there's a few people here still, we're going to carry on with the show because okay. Hello. 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 I see there are a few people still here. Sorry, this I don't know what to tell you, but the situation became very escalated. Okay, I had a 7 o'clock emergency meeting with my neighbors in my neighborhood. Okay, and I had to take it because some of my neighbors are absolutely freaking out right now, and I understand. Okay, personally, I am not freaking out, but I felt it was the best thing I could do was to connect in a very, let's say, Aquarian way with the neighbors and think of everything from a community perspective and listen to everyone else's voice. So that's what I did. That's what happened. And honestly, it was very good. It was a very healing experience. And I want to show something to you. As some of you know, there's a shortage right now of certain things, but I was gifted something, and I'm going to show you. Hello, Starcy. Look at this. Oh, I can't do it with my glasses on. I don't know how to put this thing on. I guess it kind of goes like this. Okay. So, there you go. Sorry, that meeting went on much longer than I expected, and a couple people didn't show up, and we tried to wait for the people to show up, and they didn't show up. And honestly, I don't blame them, because the whole idea is social distancing. Anyway, so I don't want to point fingers or anything. It's over. We're still here. We're still hanging out. Okay? And I'm just checking in, saying hello to a few people. Oh my God. Oh my God. Global restructuring, it's happening right now in my neighborhood. It's actually happening right now. A lot of the restructuring is to do with human behavior. Not just the financial markets, not just the corporations, not just the banks, not just the government. We're talking about human behavior on a global scale. Okay, so let me just check. And who's there? Love Tribe, are you still here? It looks like you had to go. Aribam Anju, it looks like you had to go. I'm sorry. Bye-bye. Good night, Robin. Good night, all. I'm posting a reading for all signs. Good night, Robin. Who else is there? Hello, Aribam. Oh, this is Teal singing, by the way. Hey, thank you, Path, for covering for me for a little bit. It's been... let's have a look. Okay, okay, I'm completely lost. The chat, I'm completely lost, because it looks like you guys have been chatting amongst yourselves, and I've lost the thread completely, because I had to go into this very intense, kind of very serious emergency neighborhood meeting. Okay, anyway. Wow. So let me just check something here. Okay. I'm not sure what to say or do right now, because this meeting was full. This neighborhood meeting was full of paranoia, what I felt paranoia, anger, extremism, volatility, all these things that are very inflammatory, and like with the energy of people who are basically freaking out, panicking. People are literally in a state of panic. And that's what's happening here right in my neighborhood. Hello, it looks like we still got a few people here. Hello. I'm sorry I left you guys alone fending for yourselves while I had to do this thing. It was, I don't know how to describe it, a lot of pressure. And I felt I had to keep the channel and the show going, because I started it, and then there was this community meeting, and I had to comply. Basically because I'm part of the neighborhood here. Anyway, to put it in a nutshell, some of the neighbors here are absolutely freaking out. Okay? Let me just check something over here on the stage. I can't even remember where we were. I can't remember what we were talking about. Does anybody remember where we were? Because I certainly don't. Hold on. I think I was talking about politics or something, or corporations, stakeholder capitalism compared to shareholder capitalism. Anyway, all of that stuff is going to be coming under examination right now as the United States goes through its convulsions, okay? And yeah, in some ways, like China and the United States, they're basically sleeping in the same bed with each other right now. So they, what's happening in China affects the United States dramatically. You can't separate these two anymore. And what's happening in the United States right now is going to affect China dramatically, because you can't separate the two anymore. It's almost like a very disturbing, sad marriage that has kind of gone wrong. Okay? And then, like, what happens in a marriage that has gone wrong. I don't know if I talked about this on another video, but just imagine these are the people over here, and they have one concept, and we're completely addicted to, like, consumption and having bigger and better houses and cars, and it becomes a maniacal obsession. So that's what we do, and we have already exploited ourselves as a country to the point where we realize it's much more effective to export some of our problems over to China, which is basically a slave camp over here. And this slave camp is in compliance with the United States, which is now in compliance with the rest of the world, because everything that's manufactured here now goes all over the world. Okay? Hello, Lena. Hello, Lena. I see you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for being here. I don't know if I have the energy to talk about this other stuff, but there's more notes here. Okay? I was going to make a reference to the astrology of America, the chart for the United States of America. I was going to do stuff around that, okay? And wouldn't you know, okay, I'm not going to go into great detail, but wouldn't you know, in the birth chart of America that we know today, people call this the Sibley chart. It's from the 4th of July, 1776. I think it's at 5:10 p.m. or something. What we have is the United States with the ascendant in Sagittarius, descendant in Gemini, Sun and multiple planets in Cancer, and Pluto in Capricorn. I mean, there's no escape for America, okay? Right now, look at this. Look at this. America was born with Pluto in Capricorn, and we're heading very close to the degree of Capricorn of birth. How freaking amazing is that? So we're heading to a massive conjunction of Pluto with Pluto, okay? Roughly 250 years later from the time of 1776. So the United States in 1776 is emblematic. It's symbolized here in the astrology of the American astrology chart. And in that time, America had this huge cluster of planets in Capricorn, heavily opposing Pluto in Capricorn. So what you have is this energy of creative destruction. If you think of the Sun in Cancer opposing Pluto in Capricorn, what is that? That is the energy of creative destruction. And guess what? America is really, really good at that. The United States is really, really good at crushing and pulverizing anything and everything that doesn't work, and then restructuring, reconfiguring about what are we going to do now in terms of what does work. Like the kind of like what we did in World War I and World War II, kind of what happened in the Industrial Revolution, kind of what happened in the American Revolution around the 1860s. All of that is symbolic of the creative destruction. In the American Revolution, the wars of, we were talking about Americans fighting Americans. Millions of Americans were killing millions of Americans, okay? I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but this energy right now, all of this is being accentuated by the polarity. Right now we have a whole cluster of planets over here in Capricorn aligning right now with the birth placement of the United States, okay? Right over here. We are not there yet, so we're still going to have many, many, many months and like even a couple of years while all this stuff plays out across Earth right now. We're heading into this monumental conjunction of Pluto in Capricorn conjunct Pluto in Capricorn at the very birth of the United States. So I can guarantee you that the United States is going through massive convulsions, massive unavoidable restructuring, okay? Global restructuring, January 2020. And it's very much the same energy. My feeling is it's very much the same energy of what happened between the very early settlers and the pioneers of the very early United States, the United States of America, versus the Empire of Great Britain. Because back in the time of 1776, Great Britain, the English were extremely powerful all across the world with the British Empire. And all the people in the United States basically said, you know, we're sick of this shit. We do not want to belong to your slave camp. We, the Americans, we have declared our independence. We are now independent of you. You do not own us. We are not your slaves, okay? We elect people to represent us. We are not owned and controlled and operated by, like basically a monarchy, which is basically another form of a totalitarian dictatorship. Enough is enough. It's done. It's done. And so that happened in 1776, and now we're starting something else. We're recycling here. We're back at that moment in time again, where Pluto is lining up with the birth alignment of Pluto over here. Okay, 1776. Opposing the Cancerian sun. So this is a massive polarity. And we have not just Pluto, but we have Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars right now. And we just had the moon, all putting extreme intense pressure, what I call the reality check police, putting the pressure on the United States right now. Okay? And it's literally just like it's almost like a vice grip, and the vice grip keeps tightening and tightening, and it gets tighter and tighter and tighter until the United States of America, as a phenomenon, realizes that, oh my God, we are going to have to evolve. We are going to have to change. We're going to have to grow. We're going to have to adapt, or we, the United States, we crumble. We wither, we fade away, we turn into a piece of carnage, we turn into a piece of roadkill. And I don't think America as an entity is ready for that yet. So I think America is going to be going through I think the United States is going to be going through massive convulsions as it goes through its internal restructuring. And it's going to pit a lot of people against each other. There's going to be a lot of carnage and loss and pain and suffering here. Thank you, Saturn. Thank you, Pluto. But out of the bad comes the good. Thank you, Jupiter. Okay? So we're all living this. Everybody here who lives in the United States, we're living through it right now. And this is impacting the rest of the world. Okay, I have to stop ranting. Because I'm affected just as much as you guys are. Okay? I feel this just like you guys. And I have opinions and I have feelings about all this. I don't necessarily know all the facts, but I do have opinions and I do have feelings, and I'm doing my very, very best to try and get everything in alignment so that it's like survival. Right now, my desire is to live on in order to tell the story. And the story is ultimately about global healing. It's about healing the planet, healing humanity, how humanity has to come together and learn how to heal ourselves, heal each other, because we don't have an option anymore, because we're sitting on top of the realization that we could just be obliterated in terms of millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions because of this little tiny virus. We are also aware that we have the ability to create good fences, reestablish boundaries, reestablish much healthier protocols of behavior so that we don't have to become victims. In other words, we can still have a heavily populated planet, but we have to find ways and means to stop basically running an enterprise called human existence in such a way that we're swimming in our own poop. We can't do that anymore. It's very clear on a global scale that we are swimming in our own poop, and it is time to stop. We have to find ways to stop behaving like we do. My feeling is it's not going to be easy or quick. And a lot of the things that are just happening right now, my personal feeling is that the whole of 2020 is going to be filled with massive convulsions of global restructuring in ways that have never ever happened before. And we have to live through it. We are the people who are living alive today who are going to live through this. Little children who are born today, and adults and senior citizens who are living today. We're all living through this simultaneously. And our elected leaders and some of our self-appointed leaders are going to be the ones who are making some of the really tough decisions about what are we going to do, how are we going to do this. And so that looks like warfare. From my perspective, that looks like warfare. A lot of it is posturing, because no one's going to drop a bomb anymore. No one's going to do that just to make a point. I'm going to take your country, I'm going to take your land, I'm going to send millions of people to battle and slaughter. We don't have to do that anymore. We've grown out of that. We have to find ways to actually change our behavior from the inside, and that's what's happening right now. I don't think I can add any more to this show because I kind of lost the momentum because of those meetings. It really kind of breaks my heart, but we're living in very challenging times. Let me just check, see who's there. Okay, so what's going on with you guys? Lena, talk to me. What's going on down there in Argentina? Hey, Starsy, where are you? I can't remember where you are, Starsy. I'm just going to go through the chat. I just want to check. Hello, Robin. Robin had to go. She's doing readings for everybody. She's doing lucky draws. Aribam Anju. I've heard singing tarot illumination in other videos. I have been a fan watching for 2 years. Oh, okay. Hello, Aribam Anju. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm scrolling through the chat now. I just want to check to see what I missed. Hello, Mary. Hi, Nikki. Hello, Alson. Hi, Robin. I said hi, Robin. Hi, Jackie. Anyway, so Lena is out in the bushes exercising. What? Tell us more. Okay. Hold on a minute. I'm going to get a refresher on my little beverage, and I'm going to just kind of like chill and just hang with you for a little bit until we wrap it up here and go on to live our merry lives. If anybody has any wacky, cool stories you want to share, just please type it in and we'll kind of run with it. I'm just going to go get a little top up on my beverages. Stay right there. Don't go away. Have a look. Enjoy the full display. Okay, here we go. Hi, Starsy. Where are you, Starsy? I know Lena's down in Argentina. So, Lena, are you having the lockdowns there? Or is Buenos Aires being instructed for everybody to stay home? Do not go to work. Do not do anything. The only time you leave the house is when you go to the grocery store or the hospital or for gasoline or what's the other one? to take care of someone in need, something like that. Like if you have friends and family. Starzy is far, far away. So Lena, you do have the lockdown. Wow, it's happening there in Buenos Aires too. Jeepers, it's amazing. I just talked to some friends in New York City in America, and it's a complete lockdown over there. The streets are empty. Well, they're not totally empty, but there's hardly any traffic, and everybody's staying at home, and the governor has instructed everybody to stay home. So that's what most people are doing. Wow, Lena. Oh, here's another thing. There is, in the United States, we have something called the National Guard. And the National Guard is like a supplementary military support team that helps the American military in times of war, in times of need, when we're not talking about like guns and missiles and jets and bombs. We're talking about the stuff that needs to be taken care of in wartime. Personally, I feel like we are actually in the state of World War III right now, and everybody on planet Earth, it's not just little bits of Europe or Germany or France, everywhere on planet Earth is now having to behave and conduct themselves under wartime protocols. Okay? That's what's happening. Okay? And sometimes they have to enforce those protocols. So like what Lena is talking about, they have soldiers on the streets telling you go back home or you'll be arrested. Okay? Yes, I see your note there, Gregory, about fear. Yes, it is all triggered by fear, and you can see how powerful fear is. Like the fear is owning humanity right now. Humanity is owned by the fear. That's very much close related with Saturn in Capricorn at the 29-degree mark, and with Pluto at the 24-25 mark, and Mars conjunct as well, and Jupiter conjunct as well. And basically something amazing is happening, but something also very devastating. It's devastating, okay? It's the energy of war. It's the energy of devastation. And out of the war comes restructuring. That's what always happens in wartime. You go through a devastation and then you rebuild. Homo sapiens, humanity, human beings are very, 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 very good at getting into war, conducting war, coming out of the war, and rebuilding after the war. That's kind of what human beings do. There's the sun energy over here. Let's pretend this is the chart of the United States. That's the United States in its glorious Cancerian, very caring, lovely home ownership, home and family type of vibe energy, and we're going to create this world where our bosses and our leaders, they work for us. It's corrupted. We've had 250 years where Pluto went, okay, look at this way. This is Pluto, all right? Let's pretend this is Pluto in Capricorn, 26 degrees at the birth of the United States. And let's pretend this is the Cancer sun sign in the early degrees in 1776. And also, let's imagine, okay, Mercury, okay? Mercury is at about 26 degrees in the United States at the birth in Cancer, okay? So when you take Mercury, okay, look at it this way. Mercury is the planet of business. It's the planet of transactions. It's the planet of moving money around, like currencies, banking, communications, telecommunications, the day-to-day process of making business, taking care of business, okay? In the United States, Mercury is in Cancer, directly opposed to Pluto in Capricorn, okay? So what does that tell you? Mercury opposed to Pluto. So it means the United States from birth is destined to constantly go through a continuous process of creative destruction. Creative destruction. In other words, we are just going to destroy and pulverize anything and everything that doesn't work when it comes to business, in order that we can evolve and grow and adapt and become more prosperous. And sometimes that's a very painful process. That's it. That's just what happens. When you have a Pluto opposition to anything, it usually involves deep soul interactions, and sometimes it's very, very painful. And you need a lot of support and love and caring from yourself to yourself, and from your loved ones to you, and from you to your loved ones. And that's what's happening in the United States right now. We've got this thing over here, Mercury in Cancer for the United States, being heavily opposed and challenged by Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars in Capricorn. It's an absolutely ruthless, unrelenting, brutal reality check. That's what's happening right now. Thank you very much. Now, on that happy note, let's see if we can have a little bit of a sing-song. I want to do some self-healing, so I'm going to play a little song called I Am Healing. I'm going to play a bunch of songs now. I hope you don't mind, and you guys can chat in the background. The first song I'm going to call is called I Am Healing. Okay, pretend you're at like at one of those like guided yoga classes or something. And it's energetic. The whole idea is like you're supposed to physically heal yourself from deep within, and you do these like active, very, very, very active yoga dancing stuff. Okay, it sounds like this. Okay, hold on, I just made a mistake. I pressed the wrong button. Oh God. Cancel. Hold on. I am healing. You might have heard this song before. Okay, it sounds like, where is it? Oh, hold on, I made a mistake. I did a typo. Let me see if I can fix it. No, it's not. For some reason my computer is struggling to find the file. Okay, that's really bizarre. That's really bizarre. Let me look at another song. Here we go. Let's try this. Hold on. Here we go. This is better. Actually, this is a better choice. So we did that one. We did that one. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking right now. Let me just go back to the stage for a second. It's been a kind of a very chaotic show. I had a lot of interruptions. I was going all over the place. Really, all I did when I started the show is I just shared a list of all these things that are of personal concern to me. And we kind of did this chart from earlier. Thank you very much and all that. But frankly, I think I'm feeling a little bit of a burnout right now. I don't think I can offer anymore, so I'm not going to do that. I think I'm gonna wrap up the show right now and see if I can come up with the song I originally wanted. It's called I Am Healing, and then we'll do our farewells with that healing song. Also, by the way, if anybody wants to become a member, it really, really helps. Seriously, believe me, please do the likes, the subscribes, and everything. The really important thing is membership. You can check the links below in the videos. If you want to donate, you can go to terralumination.com. There's a donate button. All of this stuff helps. It's really, really important. I'm doing everything I can to help you guys. I need this thing to work. I need this thing to keep going. Okay, so I'm going to move on now. I'm going to see if I can find that other song. See if it comes up for me. Give me a second. Hold on. It's not working. It doesn't want to come up. Damn it. Why not? Why not? Okay, love. What about love the word? Okay, that was coming up. Okay, I'm going to do I Am Healing again. I am healing, I am healed. It's not doing it. Okay, so I'm going to do a kind of like a chanty thing. I'm going to play Love the Word. Okay? No, you know what? I'm going to play I Am Guided. I am G-U-I. I'm going to see if I can do that. Yeah, I'm going to play this song. I'm going to play I Am Guided, okay? That'll take us out of the show properly. That's much, much better. Hold on. Here we go. I am guided, I am protected, 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 I am guided, I am protected. When the light of hope it fades, when all faith is blown away, when all sense of trust goes down, when a smile turns into frown, when it feels there's no relief, nothing in which to believe, desperate in woe and grief, angels come reminding me, I am guided, I am protected, 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 I am guided, I am protected. Angels gather close to me, show me what I cannot see. Angels take me by the hand, lift me when I cannot stand. Angels lead me through the dark, soothe and tend a broken heart, laughing at the circumstance, crying while we sing and dance. I am guided, I am protected, 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 I am guided, I am protected. that was kind of cool. I didn't kind of plan that or expect it to go that way, but I'm glad it did. And thank you very much. I am guided. I'm trying to wrap it up gracefully, people. Hey, Nikki, I see that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. It all helps right now. It really helps. Thank you so much. I'm going to... I feel like I should just kind of wrap up gently and slowly. I'm going to play a song if I can find it. It's called Love the Word. It's what I've dreamt of with this song. I was always hoping that... hold on. Let's see if it's actually going to come up. Yeah. What I was hoping with this song is that one day some amazing, big, successful pop star would find it and they would treat it like something that you would do with a choir. Maybe like, so it's like an inspirational song, you know? And like, have you ever been to one of those big gospel events? Like people are chanting, you know, thousands of people are singing together in unison with a really cool song, and it's a very healing experience. That's what I was trying to do with this song. I hope you hear it. I hope it makes sense to you. Try and imagine it's in a big stage. Try and picture that there's like, you know, 17 amazing, beautiful girls for backup singing, and there's a singer who does the lead vocal, and then there's a really good band, and everyone is just like in the groove, and you're just soaking up the vibe. It's really just kind of a big chant, okay? That's really all it is. And well, I'm gonna do it here now, okay? So pretend you're like it's some kind of big like a festival gathering. Of course, we can't do that right now in the United States, but if you use your imagination, you know. Sing the word, chant the word, speak the word, dance the word, say the word, praise the word, feel the word, love the word, live the word, vibrate the word, shake the word, hum the word, breathe the word, whisper the word, sign the word, love the word, sing it now, sing the word, chant the word, speak the word, dance the word, say the word, praise the word, feel the word, love the word, live the word, vibrate the word, shake the word, hum the word, breathe the word, whisper the word, sign the word, love the word, sing it now, sing the word, chant the word, speak the word, dance the word, say the word, praise the word, feel the word, love the word, live the word, vibrate the word, shake the word, hum the word, breathe the word. That's it, people. Once more, letting you say. Okay. I'm gonna wrap it up. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Nikki. Okay? I'll do what I can. I'm doing everything I possibly can that I know how to do right now. Love you guys. Love you guys. It's been a pleasure. Take care of yourself. Love thyself. Love thyself. Love thyself. I have to play out like just a little thing to say goodbye and cheerio. Okay? Just a little fun little noodly doodly doodly tune, you know. So here we go. Bye bye. Bye bye, everyone.